I would say that the problems that we are facing in the Caribbean are similar to other small states, and particularly other small island developing states. And by that I mean that, of course, there's an issue of scale, and most Caribbean territories have really small populations, and it really ranges. I mean, you have countries in the region that have populations under 500,000, and then there are those that are just about 1 million, and those that are 5 million and upwards. But irrespective of their size, they all have similar of issues, which is relative to what's happening in the global economy, the number of economic actors, and the quantum of resources that they have at their disposal to generate an innovation dynamic is relatively small. It's also that there's a historical dimension to it, and you could almost argue a cultural dimension to it, which is that these are post-colonial societies. They have a long tradition of plantation-type economy frameworks that don't lend themselves towards innovation. They really were set up, these economies were really set up to provide basic raw materials. And they continue to offer basic raw materials, basic services, and so on. Really, in effect, what we call low value added, or they're operating at the basic end of the value chain process. And so the innovation requirements are to move up the commodity chain, to move up the value chain, so that they're able to attract higher returns on their investment. So in part, it's not so much about changing from one sector to the other, which is what we've done. So we've moved increasingly out of agriculture into manufacturing, from manufacturing into services. And some see that as progress, when in fact what we have done is move from the commodity end of agriculture to the commodity end of manufacturing to the commodity end of services. The key thing is that you can learn is that creative content is in high demand. And the Caribbean, despite its size, has been able to create content that people are interested in from all around the world. And so this is applicable to many other small states. There is no specific restriction on their capacity to generate creative content. The challenges are when you talk about the distribution of that content and getting it into marketplaces. And so that's where the innovation is now required. Not so much at the production end, as much as in the distribution and marketing end of things. And so if it's anything that other countries can learn from the Caribbean and other regions can learn from the Caribbean, is that you need to invest not just in production, but in marketing and distribution. Otherwise, what you will have is more and more creation without that creation being properly monetized. And that ultimately will provide a disincentive for people who want to invest in the sector. So you want to get the linkages right. And that to me is the real trick of the matter.